let's quickly check head on now what the big stories on Nigerian newspapers are saying this morning. We've got a host of them, about 12 of them. Ibrahim and I will be, highlighting the big stories, that is, and we begin with the blueprint, which reads that as President Tinubu, as well as his challengers, his main challengers in the fallout of the presidential election of this year, that's Mr. Atiku and Obi, know their fate on Wednesday. The DSS has raised the alarm, with federal government begging labor on warning strike. As Tinubu, Atiku know their fate on Wednesday, DSS is also talking tough. That's all on Blueprint. Daily Trust is next. Parties said to be optimistic as tribunal rules on Atiku Obi's petitions tomorrow. Still on the Wednesday judgment, still topping the headlines so far. Controversies persist as tribunal decides Tinubu Atiku Obi's fate on Wednesday. NLC, in the meantime, shuns federal government meeting to proceed on strike. Politicians mobilizing students, ethnic groups, others for protest. That's according to security.
Plots to stage violent protests. Identifies ringleaders. NLC adamant avoid meeting with federal government to avert warning strike. This Nigeria says DSS warns over plots to stage violent protests. That's this Nigeria. Salient Times is next. Federal government debt service gobs 99% of revenue in 6 months. Budget office. And the writer reads, federal government prepares to submit 2024 budget in October. Federal government debt service gobs 99% of revenue in 6 months. It's amazing. That's Salient Times. First News is next. Current economic hardship. Ex-Kano Emir Sanusi indicts Buhari, absolves Tinubu. And the writer reads, alleges ex-president's administration borrowed 30 trillion naira from the CBN, couldn't service debt. Current economic hardship, ex-Kano Emir Sanusi indicts former President Buhari and absolves incumbent President Tinubu. Business Day newspaper is next. Tinubu's 100 days, bold moves, shaky execution. Bold moves, shaky execution. Tinubu's 100 days. That's according to Business Day. And the last but not least here is the Guardian newspaper. Bold reforms leave Nigerians more miserable amid assurances. Bold reforms leave Nigerians more miserable amid assurances. That's the Guardian newspaper. A lot of things, a lot of newspapers talking about the current situation in the country, and especially the NLC, which is also threatening to embark on strike today.
Right, Ibrahim. So there we have the papers, and from what we have heard, there are, some sticky stories or sticky headlines. I noticed you were cautious with the word screaming, but some really stuck out. And of course, we've spoken about one of them being the much-awaited presidential election election petition judgment, which is due to be delivered on a Wednesday. And Wednesday, that is also scheduled to be I call it a day 2 of a warning strike, yet another strike by the labor groups. We understand that strike, it appears to be no going back, as the strike will take off today. It's billed to be a 2-day warning strike. There was a last-minute meeting between the federal government through the coordinating Minister of Labor and Productivity, as well as his supporting minister. But one of the major labor unions that had been in talks with the federal government was missing, talking about the Nigeria Labour Congress. The TUC, the Trade Union Congress, was there. But the NLC said, according to reports, that it was important that they stay out so that it will not disturb their planned strike, which is to commence today. We also hear that state chapters have also expressed their readiness to join the strike. In addition, the Maritime Union too has mobilized its members to join, just as Association of Employees of Banks and Insurance, and as well as other related institutions have said they will join the strike. Ibrahim, how does this beat you? Are you exactly surprised at this turn of events?
Well, I won't call it a surprise. I know that for every action, there will always be a reaction. So whether the reaction it does counterbalance that action or is very effective, then that's left to people to judge. But I feel that this administration is just 3 months old, and there's a lot that they met on ground, which they are trying to, clear the mess they met on ground, even though the argument will still always be, but it has always been the same party, yes, but not the same crop of people who are the end of affairs. So I feel that the strike is not needed at this time, because as some had already said, that it will further worsen the conditions of Nigerians, the plight of Nigerians. You're working, you're not really enjoying what you're working for. If you stop working or if you strike,
right,
you are still inflicting pains on yourself.